Our offers also align with goal number 5, industry, innovation and infrastructure. AFISA continues to drive technology, advancement and innovation across the Leone, ensuring that connectivity is not just a circuit prepared for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the UNDP team, development partners, colleagues, CEOs, and friends. It is a great pleasure to join you today as we celebrate the development program, an organization that continues to play a pivotal role in shaping a better, fairer, and more sustainable world. On behalf of Leone Commercial Bank, I extend our warmest congratulations to UNDP on this remarkable milestone. Over the years, your work has helped transform lives across the globe. And here in Sierra Leone, your impact has been both visible and deeply appreciated. We are especially proud of our long-standing relationship with UNDP, not only as your financial partner, but also an institution that shares your development values. Our dedicated Leone Commercial Bank outlet, located within the head office in Freetown, stands as a symbol of the close partnership and commitment to serving your team with excellence. We are also pleased to have contributed towards this celebration a reflection of our appreciation for your legacy and our commitment to continued collaboration. Beyond our relationship with UNDP, with the United Nations, Leone Commercial Bank has taken deliberate steps to support the Sustainable Development Goals. On USDG1, no poverty, we are focused on wealth creation, empowering individuals and businesses through access to finance and inclusive banking solutions. SDG2, that's zero hunger, we have again extended loans and advances to agricultural products that improve food security and livelihoods, particularly in rural communities. And in response to the great threat of climate change, that's SDG 13, our bank has launched tree planting initiatives and embraced environmentally responsible practices. As Sierra Leone's leading indigenous bank, we are committed to being more than just a financial institution. We are a development partner, one that believes in using finance as a tool for inclusive growth, environmental stewardship, and national transformation. Once again, on behalf of the management of Leone Commercial Bank, we are congratulating the United Nations on the 80th years of global leadership and impact. We look forward to continuing this journey with you, side by side, in the service of people, planet, and prosperity. Thank you very much.
We deeply appreciate the support Leone Commercial Bank is giving to the United Nations country team through UNDP. Thank you very much, sir. And now, the Deputy MD of EcoBank. The Resident Coordinator UN, heads of UN agencies present, members of the private sector, members of the 40 states, I stand on existing protocols. The UN marks 80 years of multilateralism focused on peace, human rights, and sustainable development. In Sierra Leone, as we have heard, UN has supported post-conflict recovery and governance, strengthened health and education systems, responded to epidemics and climate crisis, advanced gender equality, human rights, and resilience, and therefore we congratulate the UN as it celebrates 80 years of existence and 64 years of existence in Sierra Leone, which is why EcoBank is proud to support this 80 years celebration with a very handsome donation, highlighting the partnership between the UN and EcoBank that we value so much. EcoBank's Sierra Leone's contribution to the SDGs has been in the following areas. One, women's economic empowerment, which relates to SDG 5 and 8. We developed a product called Elevate by EcoBank, which focused on financing and mentoring women-led businesses. It is focused on unsecured loans, training, and market access to bridge gender financing gaps. Secondly, SME and job creation relating to SDG 1 and SDG 8. We have been partnering with institutions to be able to provide access to finance for SMEs. Case in point, we partnered with British International Investments for a $25 million risk-sharing facility for SMEs in agriculture, infrastructure, and manufacturing. This supports job creation and income growth. Thirdly, financial inclusion and digital innovation relating to SDG 9 and 10. We've expanded our services for underserved communities, having engagement with fuller community, for example, to bring them into the formal financial system. We've introduced tools like our mobile banking app, our USSD channel also, and our agency banking, which is across the country. We've also supported startups and fintech innovation. Under gender equality, staff well-being, and CSR, these relate to SDG 3, 5, and 8. We have conducted breast cancer screening, mental health support, workplace inclusion, gender parity in leadership roles. According to the GWE Act, we are supposed to have 30% of women in management, and we are committed as EcoBank, and I can assure you that we do have that in our management. Every year we celebrate EcoBank Day, and last week, Saturday, we celebrated EcoBank Day. EcoBank Day is a day in which we reach out to the communities in where we exist across our 33 countries. For the last 2 years, our theme has been to support education. Last year, we donated computers to the YWCA school and the Awara school in Bo to set up their computer labs, and also provided online training materials for them. Last week, I was in McKinney, where we supported the ICOM school with 10 computers, refurbished their computer labs, and also provided online AI-led training tools for them. This was also repeated in Bo at the Nyapui Secondary School, where we also donated computers. So this shows that we've been working also to support SDG 5, which is quality education. In terms of national development and strategic priorities, we've worked on access to capital, expanding local currency loans and ECSME financing constraints. We've supported financial inclusion by aiming to increase access to branchless and digital solutions. We've supported innovation and the ecosystem by supporting local tech hubs and startups under our banking as a platform model. In terms of community trust, we've tailored our services for rural and undeserved groups, and for gender empowerment, we've continued a focus on women-led business and internal leadership. Our commitment going forward is to scale partnership with the UN, government, and civil society in agriculture, energy, education, and climate resilience, to expand financial access in informal and rural sectors, and to employ women and youth. I thank you very much. Thank you very much. It has been a long morning. We've had the UN consultative speak. We've had our private sector partners speak. Now it's the turn for the media to ask questions and reflect. So what we're going to do is I will entreat you to focus on two critical issues here: the UN reforms and the UN celebrations. Our partners are here to speak to the partnership with the UN on this UN at 80, and the UN Residence Coordinator is also here to speak to the city. So I will now open the floor for you to ask your questions, starting with your name, the entity that you are representing, and then your question to these two issues. Thank you very much. Yes. Can somebody please help me with the microphone?
Hello everybody, I am Esther Kaditari. I work for Affiliate, and my question is to the RC and that of my colleagues. So to the RC, are there criteria that you look at when selecting the partners in the private sector that you work with? And if yes, what are these criteria? And to my colleague, a 2024 report by Al Jazeera News mentioned that issues of climate change are contributing factors to human trafficking and migrant smuggling in Syria. So what have you been doing, as an organization that works around these issues when it comes to integrating climate response in your work? Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
So we have to say, the United Nations was formed in 1945, on the principle of promoting peace, security, and mutual cooperation among member countries across the world. Taking into consideration what is happening globally in terms of the wars, in terms of other things, climate change, we are celebrating UN at 80. My question is, how do you foresee the UN body in the next 5 to 10 years? Because many people are of the view that perhaps the UN seems to be losing its grip in terms of maintaining peace globally.
Thank you. Please.
Hello everybody, my name is David Asmefon. I am a reporter for Tools Media and Australia. In some ways, it's 8 years the UN's work and also in Serbia. What concrete steps have been taken to ensure that the UN supports align with the country's development priorities, particularly when carrying people and women out technologies. And as we celebrate in 80 years, I will be reflecting on setting goals for the next 5 years. What I'm supposed to be expecting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Good morning. I am Alasan Kumar. I report for Liberty TV. The UN has been working relentlessly in terms of promoting youth. And of course, we all know the problem of the youth in the country, which has to do with drugs. And I really want to know how the United Nations has been working with the government of Serbia to see how these people will cushion shots minutes across the country. Thank you.
I think we should give them the microphone now to that's not yours. Yes, please.
Thank you. I hope I captured the questions well. Maybe starting with the first on the criteria to choose partners we work with. As say maybe the question should have gone to agencies because I'm at the strategic level, but let me put it on a general way of doing, because we are a family, but we are also different in terms of implementing. But the good news is also that we are trying to see how we can harmonize our procedures. So the first indicator on choosing our partners is looking at the profile and the capacities of those we want to engage with. It's not like just choosing somebody to come and implement. There's scrutiny, and we need to also be transparent. So most of the agencies, I would indicate that they have websites where you can go and see those procedures on how to choose our partners. But what I want you to highlight is that we, as UN, we want to maybe have a common way of doing, so that we don't maybe, that's where we need to know, we get to know who we are in terms of how we intervene. But I would say for now, you'll see that there are partners who are working with different agencies because of the way each agency has to review the capacities, and also you know, most of the time we also need that those that are implementing can also report. So we have different ways of looking at the capacities. There are technical capacities, but there are also operational capacities in terms of monitoring and evaluation of the programs. So I will not give you technical details, but if you need those information, you can reach out to agencies, but we can also get it on the website of the UN. There's a question on UN from 1945, focusing on peace and security and different global issues. And the question is maybe based on what is happening, do we think that UN will keep delivering on its mandate? I did mention in my presentation on the UN at 80 initiative. Those are the questions that we are also asking ourselves. The context that made to set up the UN in 1945 are no longer the same. The architecture has changed. And this is a time for us to reflect on those questions. There are places where we succeed, but there are also challenges for the UN to deliver. Based first on the capacities in terms of financial capacities, but also reflecting on the mandate itself. And I mentioned that the question is not the UN itself, because the UN is made by member states. So member states are reflecting on how we can keep the UN fit for purpose. And this is the reflection that we are looking at. I cannot give you the response today, but I did mention that as we continue waiting for the reforms to happen, we are on the field delivering on the mandate of the UN. A question around empowering youth. In different ways. One was talking about what do we do to empower youth, and one more precise question on how do we support them to address the issue of drug abuse. I'll say for the UN, we do have a strategy for youth empowerment globally, and this is where at the level of Sierra Leone we align to the global strategy. And you know that empowering youth is multi-dimensional. I would say it covers all the fields. And when you see how also diversified the UN is in Sierra Leone, you do understand that we are doing a lot for the youth in terms of empowering youth. I would say that the youth is like a cross-cutting group of population in all what we do. From climate change, I maybe refer to our strategy that we presented under the 3 pillars. We have food system, climate resilience, and agriculture. You have in all those agencies working under that pillar, mainly FAO, IFAD, WFP, WHO, and others. The youth will always be targeted as a group to support. On the second pillar on human capital is also the same. As we see in that pillar, we have more on education, on health, on social protection. Children and others are part of those groups that we are targeting in that pillar. And then on governance, we do support reforms that address youth empowerment. And I won't go in details, but you heard from agencies talking about digitalization.